Let's go over 25 business English phrases that you need to know if you want to sound natural in the modern workplace. Number 1, circle back. This means to revisit a topic later, to maybe bring it up later or mention that you will bring it up later. I'll circle back on this after our client call, or let's circle back on this later. Number 2, double click on. Yes, just like on a computer. This means to examine or discuss something in more detail. And you're often requesting that other people do it. Could you double click on that for a second? That means say more about it, like clicking on a folder on your computer. Or let me double click on this for a second. Let's double click on our marketing strategy to find any gaps. Number 3, align on. This means to make sure we have the same understanding or agreement. In fact, it's more often used for agreement. If we're aligned, then we agree on the plan, the strategy. We may have a slightly different interpretation, but we generally agree on what the plan is and what we're going to do. We need to align on next steps before finalizing the proposal. So before we move forward, we need to make sure, you and I, that we agree. We need to align on it. Number 4, take this offline. This is an extremely common phrase. It means to continue the discussion we're having privately or at another time. Now, offline refers to not being online, so it sounds like it's just about, let's say, a call, a video call, and let's talk about this after the video call. Maybe many people are on the call. Well, you can think of it like that, but it's used more generally. We can take this offline and go through the details later. So maybe we're talking about something too much now, and it's better if we talk about the details one-on-one in a separate meeting. Sometimes we're spending too much time on one thing. Or maybe somebody says something kind of private, something they shouldn't say. They're revealing too many details. Hey, let's take this offline. We can discuss it another time. Sounds good. Number 5, move the needle. This means to make real progress, to have an impact, to make a real change. The needle moves, a little needle. This new approach could really move the needle on sales. So maybe that doesn't mean sales are 0. Sales maybe are like this, moving along, and this, boop, moves the needle. Maybe our average sales are higher. So to move the needle is to generally have an impact. It doesn't mean to go from 0 to something. It means to have an impact on something or to make progress on something. Number 6, keep me in the loop. Simply requesting that people keep you informed. Maybe you're going to be out on vacation. Maybe your attention is divided, but you want people to keep you informed, to let you know if there are any updates, maybe about a specific project, something like that. Please keep me in the loop if anything changes. So I don't need to know all the details of what's going on here because this is your thing. I'm your boss, perhaps, but please keep me in the loop. If anything important happens that I should know about, tell me. It's used in that way. Or again, if we're not going to be there or we're not going to be aware of what's happening and we need some details. Number 7, touch base. This means to quickly connect or check in with someone. Maybe we just need to talk for a minute or 30 seconds to know maybe what's going on or to just say, sometimes just say hi, really. It doesn't have to be a lot of information. Let's touch base tomorrow about the deliverables. So we might talk about the deliverables quickly. It doesn't have to be a lot of details. We're just connecting quickly. And often it's informal. Sometimes you could do that with a text message as well. Number 8, have a hard stop at. This is when you have to end the meeting on time for some reason. Could be a personal reason Or you have another meeting at exactly 2 o'clock. I have a hard stop at 2. This is usually a respectful thing to do to inform people that the meeting has to end on time, or perhaps that you have to leave on time and maybe the meeting can continue. I have a hard stop at 3 p.m., so let's keep it concise. Number 9, drill down into. This means to go into the details. It's similar to double click on, but it might be even more detailed. We don't need to drill down into every line item right now. Maybe this meeting is for more general things, a bigger overview. So we don't want to get into too much detail, so let's not drill down. Number 10, keep me posted. This is similar to keep me in the loop, but it's more general, I would say more relaxed. Continue providing updates as things change. And sometimes we say this with no real meaning. Sometimes people say, all right, well, keep me posted, and we don't really expect to hear anything back. Sometimes we have a specific request. Keep me posted on any feedback you get from the client. So I don't need any updates other than that kind of updates on feedback from the clients. Take a deeper look. This is similar. This is to investigate or to analyze something thoroughly. We might say that we will do that later. Well, let's take a deeper look later to explore something in more depth. We need to take a deeper look at all these metrics to see what's really going on. This is where we feel like we're only looking at the surface of something, and we need to know what's really behind this. Why is this trend happening? We don't understand it right now, and we need to understand it. So that may require a deeper look. Number 12, shift gears. This is to basically make a big change, usually in response to the situation, to what's going on. We might have to shift gears if the initial plan doesn't pan out. We have a plan, it's not working like we expected, we need to shift gears. Make sure everyone's on the same page. Everyone. To be on the same page is similar to being aligned, but it's often more about common understanding. If we're on the same page, I know what you know and you know what I know, and at least we have a common understanding, right? Everyone understands the plan, everyone understands the rules, the objective, whatever. Before we move forward, let's make sure everyone is on the same page. Sometimes people have assumptions that take them off of the same page. So first, we will spend time to get on the same page, and then we will be on the same page. Get back on track. This is to return to the conversation or the core issue or the thing we're supposed to be focused on because we got distracted. Somebody said something that was unrelated and now we're off track. So let's get back on track so we don't lose sight of our main goal. So let's return to the conversation. Sometimes get back on track refers to falling behind. Maybe on a timeline, we're running late, where we might not finish on time, so let's get back on track. But it's more often about focus and the topic of conversation in a meeting. 15, hammer out the details. This is to work through specifics or the finer points of something, perhaps at another time. We need to hammer out the details before finalizing the contract. So we've made a general agreement, an oral agreement, but we need to make sure we have all the specifics in place before we actually sign. Or maybe we want to make an agreement now and say, let's hammer out the details later. 16, bounce an idea off of someone. And sometimes you hear people say, bounce ideas off of someone. This is like brainstorming, to share an informal idea, concept, or get feedback from someone. Hey, I'd like to bounce an idea off you before the actual meeting. Or maybe during the meeting, if it's a brainstorming meeting, it depends on how formal it is. But bouncing an idea off someone suggests that it's not very formal and it's not a serious proposal, just stuff you're thinking about. 17, run it past someone. This is used when we want to get someone's viewpoint or maybe approval. I need to run this past my boss to see if he's okay with the plan. We have a meeting, we decide what we want to do. I have to run it past the person who has to say I can before we actually do it. So maybe run it past the finance team before we commit to this. Make sure they say, yes, this is okay, we can afford this. But also, we might just want to get someone's opinion. Hey, I'd like to run something past you quickly. Sometimes you'll hear people say, run it by you. 18, put it on the back burner. This is useful when we had a priority and we want to shift it. Now we want to focus on something else and move this thing to the back burner. It's less important. We want to focus on it less. Maybe because it wasn't working out or because it's taking longer than expected, whatever the reason. We're going to delay this, postpone it, deprioritize it. Let's put minor updates on the back burner while we tackle the big project, the main thing we're working on. Everything else, put it on the back burner. 19, table this discussion. This is to pause talking about something until a later time. So maybe this is important, but we have to go. I'm hungry. Greg's not here. Whatever. Well, let's table this for now. It suggests a temporary pause. It's not the same as put it on the back burner. Putting it on the back burner is about deprioritizing. Tabling the discussion is basically saying, that's enough for now. For whatever reason, let's continue it later. We can table this discussion until we have the new data. Without the new data, we can't really continue the discussion. 20, loop in the right people. We talked about keeping someone in the loop. This is similar, but to loop them in means to bring them in, involve them. They're not involved and we want to make them involved. So if I think this person could be good for this project, I will loop them in. It's not that I'm just telling them what's going on. I'm going to get them involved. And this could also be used to notify relevant stakeholders, right? But probably for that, we would use keep them in the loop. If it's important to share updates in an ongoing way for compliance or to make sure we're following the rules or to make sure that records are being kept, we can use loop in as well. Loop in the legal team so they're aware of the changes. So maybe it means getting them a little involved. It may mean simply sending them an email every so often to make sure they're aware of what is happening. Knock out urgent tasks. To knock out. We often use tackle as well. To tackle something is to knock it out or get it done. It's a top priority thing. It's an urgent task. Maybe urgent, maybe important. Things that need quick action. Let's do them now. And you could use either knock out or tackle. To tackle is to sort of work on them. To knock them out is to get them done. We need to knock out urgent tasks before focusing on longer-term goals. It doesn't mean those urgent tasks are more strategic or more important. It may just be that they're urgent. 22, raise any red flags. This is to point out issues or concerns, potential problems. If you see something and it doesn't look right, it makes you feel a little uneasy, this could be a big problem in the future, well, that's a red flag. Please raise any red flags if you think the budget won't cover all costs. So say it now so that we don't have any problems later. Raise a red flag, basically saying, hey, I think this could be a problem. 23, focus on quick wins. A quick win is something that you can do quickly, something that's easy to do. Sometimes you'll do quick wins in order to build up confidence or momentum with a team. We do some quick wins, we finish some quick wins, we focus on quick wins. Then we've done, hey, look at these 5 things we've done. We've done real stuff, and that gives us a sense of confidence as we tackle more challenging problems. Let's focus on quick wins we can accomplish before the quarter ends. 24, identify low-hanging fruit. This is to look for easy wins or quick gains that we can get. What are those quick wins? Well, that's low-hanging fruit. Imagine a tree, the fruit near the bottom of the tree that you can easily grab. Low-hanging fruit is something that you can get easily. It's not always a quick win. Sometimes it's an opportunity, an investment, a thing that's just so easy to do that it makes no sense not to do it. Let's identify low-hanging fruit we can tackle right now. 25, when it comes to. This is a very useful phrase when you want to introduce a topic or focus on a specific area, something you want to talk about. When it comes to major decisions, we should include all key stakeholders. So if we're not talking about a major decision, we don't need to include all key stakeholders. Only when it comes to this, when it comes to that. So it's like saying, hey, in this situation, let's do this. In that situation, let's do that. When I'm talking about this, let's do this, or we can think about it this way. When it comes to this, maybe we should do that. So it's a way to kind of focus attention on a specific area, to limit attention on a specific area when we want to talk about actions, decisions, strategies, things like that. So all of these phrases are very useful in the workplace. Let me know in the comments which ones you think you will start using right away. And if you have any other questions, let me know in the comments. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Get a free course in the links in the description. Get the 90-day program, the best way to improve your English in 90 days, in the links in the description. And I will see you in the next one.